So thank you, Ivan, being here. And it's a privilege for us, for lawyers in general, because our intention in eLAWvation is well-being and wealth, but we can increase the wealth without our well-being in the financial parts. So please tell us a little bit about your company, about what you are doing, and how you built this.
Yeah, we leave you to introduce yourself better and for our audience.
Well, thank you, Alina and Andrea. It is such a privilege to be with you, especially because as you'll see during our discussion, building wealth is so much more than just investing or saving or taxes. That's the nitty-gritty part. But if we lose focus on the purpose, if we don't have the right mindset, which I know is a huge part of what you work with your clients on, it can be for nothing. So I'll go into that in some more detail a little further along. But thank you so much for, again, having me on. My name, as you mentioned, Ivan Lovegren with Signature Resources, as well as Strategic Divorce Planning. So I have two things that I do. One is retirement income planning. So that's a very specialized sort of wealth planning for distribution. So it's not just how do I accumulate the most money, it's how do I make the most money out of what I've accumulated. And the other one is I'm a certified divorce financial analyst, which means that when clients are going through divorce, which is a very high conflict time, very emotional time, generally if somebody came to you and they had to make some big business decision while they were going through that much emotional conflict, your advice to them would be, well, wait until you resolve the emotional conflict and then make a business decision. But divorce doesn't give people that leeway. It throws them into this huge emotional turmoil and then says, oh, and you have to make financial decisions that will impact the rest of your life, the rest of your family's life, and just it builds up scar tissue. So that's why we help clients through that process. So those are the specializations of what I do on the money side for clients.
Basically, like in our philosophy, can't work well-being without wealth or wealth without well-being are all together, and success means to be in balance, wealth and well-being. And this is amazing. We have those services to offer to our clients, to our lawyers, that they want to increase wealth and well-being.
And let's see, you know very well that lawyers are very, very busy, you know, and in lawyers field, they have different kind of specialization. They might be lawyer, you know, to be specialized in tax lawyer or financial lawyer, but most of them are not in this field. That is very specifically. How do you think could be, you know, the wealth, the healthy mindset to become wealthy, but in a healthy way? And what are those areas where the lawyers must, you know, have a clear direction and clarity in their mind in organizing, in creating a structure, something that it's healthy in the long term, but it requires, I imagine, very, you know, daily steps or
discipline,
yes,
and organization
and specific mindset. What do you think are those areas or mindset?
So I think it does come down to mindset first, because I do workshops on what we call financial freedom, and I do those for multiple groups, whether it's the Beverly Hills Chamber of Commerce, or I've done them literally for not-for-profit adult education classes for people that are just setting out on a first career at the age of 40. So I've seen all type of people come through these workshops on financial freedom, and I've also seen all levels of people come through my financial practice. And how we define financial freedom is much different than just having a giant sum of money in the bank. And it's really important that you're able to define financial freedom. It's not just a buzzword, because it is a buzzword. A lot of financial advisors love throwing it out there. It sounds good. What does it really mean? And basically what it means is I have the freedom to make the decisions that I want to make when I want to make them with my money. Now, a lot of rich people very successful people may think they have that, except because they don't have a plan, because they don't have security about the future, even though their surface and their ego is telling them, oh yeah, I can go on that vacation, I can spend that money, I can buy that car, Tesla, Lamborghini. In the back of their mind, their subconscious knows that they are acting without a foundation, and it creates stress. It generates stress. Every time you charge it, whether it's on Starbucks or on the Lamborghini, if you don't have a foundational plan where you know your future is secure, you're living with stress every single day. And the problem is a lot of people live that way through their success. And then if something goes wrong and they lose the success, then it carries even further negative consequences in their lives.
Yeah.
So
sounds like insecurity more than success.
Yeah, it very much is. And the worst thing is that sometimes you can be successful and yet you just haven't done these very basic steps to create the foundation that you can rely on to give you that actual freedom. So it's like, what did you do all that work and, sacrifice hours, years of your life for, if you're not able to carry freedom because of certainty?
And I like what you said, this impression that, okay, I have the sensation I can spend anywhere, I have money, and this in subconscious is this stress. This is very interesting because in outside work is the opposite. I mean, they think it's stressful to take time and to organize this structure, this foundation, and they don't give importance. And especially lawyers, they take care more of their clients, and they have focus in the client problem, but they are not taking time, and they are not aware about their financial, their problems. So here I notice also in my coaching session with clients that they then don't put their self on the first place. They put the client, and they know they have money. They put the client in the money, but from another part they lose money. So it's such a contradiction in their in their mindset, and I agree with you, creates stress because they finally find themselves in a position and they are not aware what happens when happens that. Right? So it's so important to have this awareness, as you said.
And a great solution to that is delegation to a team, just like you do in your business practice. You hire a paralegal because your time is worth something. Similarly, if you're going to go to the doctor, you're not going to just put that off or diagnose it yourself. You're going to go to the doctor. So on the same front, for your financial freedom, for your financial well-being, if you have a family especially, you do need a good advisor, possibly planner, possibly investment manager, possibly a state attorney. You need people that understand each of these silos. Doesn't mean it has to be super expensive either. I'm not saying you have to pay everybody, a $10,000 retainer to do this every single year, but you at least need to know that you have all the pieces working together. And it is very stunning to me. Sometimes people shut down again when they feel successful and they hear this message, they shut down. And unfortunately, it's very stunning to me how many horror stories there are of people with huge levels of success that didn't do some of the basic planning.
Yeah, it's true. It reminds me when we practice law, we had some clients, they didn't know how many properties they have, where are those properties. They were so lost, and their focus more, to get more projects, buy more and more, and they didn't know where they have properties in the world,
We say in our philosophy, and especially in our system we've created for lawyers, because we have a whole module talking and teaching about being smarter and taking care of your financial freedom. We say it's not enough having success, you have to be successful, because it's different having success and being successful. Being successful means having all the area of your life feeling fulfilled in those areas, feeling a sort of balance between your personal, your professional life, and also in the specific area of your business. Because sometimes we notice in a business, in our clients' businesses, just one area is fulfilled, not all the area of the same business. And you can tell us more how it works, this.
Yeah, well, absolutely. So so again, I mentioned retirement income planning as a particular specialty. We see that as one of the bases for, well, it's really step 3 in financial freedom. But if you have control over your day-to-day, month-to-month finances, it's the very first step. And if you have protection against setbacks, you know, again, I help a lot of people that are just getting out of debt, just getting started. You want to make sure that a setback doesn't throw you back 2 or 3 years if the tires go out on your car. Generally, for the lawyers that we're talking to, those two are well covered, so they can start talking about their goals. Are you on track for your future goals? And to most people, if I said, hey, how much money would you need to have to feel financial freedom? That word. You know, they'll say something like $10 million. And then they'll laugh a little bit too. Like, yeah, I kind of need permission to say that because it sounds so absurd. And if you actually do the math, that's not absurd, especially not in Los Angeles, because of the restrictions on using your money if it's in the market. So if you don't actually know what that number is, however, or maybe you know what that number is, but wow, I can't be financially free until I have $10 million in the bank. That's going to be a sucky 15, 20, 30 years for some people, right? Grinding until I can get there.
Then it's not a guarantee.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's not a guarantee. So if you do the steps of planning to figure out how am I going to generate what I need to live on when I hit that point, be it 55, 60, 65, where I'm going to stop working. If I know that at that point, I'm going to have my cost of living covered, if I do X, Y, Z, then that creates freedom. Now you've got a plan where if I hit these marks, and if every step of the way and every quarter I'm checking in with Ivan or whomever my financial advisor is, and we can see the path to producing the amount of income I need to live when I stop working, that creates financial freedom today. So it brings that financial freedom from 30 years in the future forward. So you don't feel guilty when you go to Starbucks and you double up or, you know, supersize or whatever they do there these days. Similarly,
what is the percentage somebody should spend from whatever they earn?
So again, that's an impossible question to answer just in general, because I have clients in Omaha, Nebraska, my hometown where I'm from, where for them to retire happily, they're going to need $50,000 a year.
Yeah,
Lifestyle.
It's depend on the lifestyle.
Yeah. And I have clients in Los Angeles who spend $600,000 a year on, and I almost don't like the word lifestyle because these are not Bugatti driving people either. They actually have a very basic, lifestyle. They do enjoy the fact that they can go golfing at their country club. They do have charities they support and sit on the board of. So I've seen a $600,000 lifestyle that's not absurd either. So that's why I don't, it's not about judging, but it's how are you going to generate that? And if you know how you're going to be able to generate that in the future, based on, if you're making $2 million a year, it's really easy to save enough to get there. You don't have to save 10% or 30%. It's arbitrary. But so really it's about understanding what it costs to live and then doing the math to reverse engineer that. And that's how we decide, okay, well, here's how much you have to save to then have this at this point coming in without you having to worry. And then the very cool thing about that style of planning is once you establish that, and then you have a better year in your practice, now you can go and play with that money. Because sometimes people say, well, I want more aggressive stuff. I want crazy stuff. I want to have fun. I want to buy, property or, do this sort of alternative investment. And those are great. Those are great potentials. But once you have your base covered, then you can go do that and you don't have to worry about risk.
Yeah, it's like a game.
Exactly.
Have you seen changes in your clients' life? I mean, well, when they came to you, what is the most, common source of getting in trouble in your, in your situation, from your experience? What you
Let's say in divorces.
In general.
Yeah. Well, in general, it's funny because the number one cause of divorce, the number one cause of divorce is marriage. the number 2 cause of divorce is finances. You know, and the first one, obviously a bit of a joke. You can't get divorced if you never get married. So a lot of the things that I've seen in my clients previous to working in the divorce space, which I now work in almost exclusively, it ended up being the same things. You know, the lack of planning or the lack of understanding is really key. Something I hate in both cases is meeting with somebody who's maybe a little further along in their 50s, 60s, has been doing a lot of stuff and constantly chasing the next thing.
Exactly, yeah.
And feeling like they got nowhere. And not having an advisor that cares enough to spend the time with them. I'm going to say something crazy. You don't need the greatest advisor out there. You don't need the greatest investor out there. You don't need the absolute best of the best. If you have somebody that gives you time and a strategy, that's going to pay off better in a lot of cases than constantly chasing the next big thing. And there's so many things in the financial world where by the time it gets down to the consumer level, it's watered down anyways. And so the more stuff you chase, the more there's tons of graphs on this. Every single year at the end of the year, every major company, John Hancock, Charles Schwab, they put out studies on when money moved into the market and when money moved out of the market.
Okay.
And we all hear buy low, sell high, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yet no matter what, year after year, it keeps happening where when the market is crashing, people are selling.
Mm-hmm.
And when the market is going up, that's when people start to buy. Behavioral science has us always behind the 8 ball. Yeah. So people constantly chase and then they wonder why they don't see the same sort of output that the charts say.
So it's matter of mindset and the
awareness.
First of all, to be aware, and after to be open to change your mindset for your peace of mind. Because even you have money and you feel inside
guilty
or anxiety about what is the next step. It's not well-being.
Yeah, and that's why I say. I was just going to add on to there. That's why I say. One, I believe I'm a very sophisticated advisor. I'd love a chance to show anybody the actual tools that we use and our strategies. However, the number of clients I've met or that have become my clients where I've said, when was the last time you spoke to your advisor? Mm-hmm. Oh, 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. This is your future. Mm-hmm. If they can't make an hour of time every quarter for you, then they probably aren't aligned with your goals.
Yeah.
And so how do you know that what you're doing is right? And again, I haven't heard from my person in 3 years. Now it's just uncertainty and doubt. You just don't know. And that's what our goal should be, is to bring you certainty, bring you peace of mind, let you focus in on your lawyer practice because your time is worth that.
Yeah, basically it's what we teach lawyers to build a meaningful relationship with their clients, and in general in life.
And as you said, Ivan, I agree this, because I think this mindset of your clients is like, okay, I have an account, I have my advisor, and they are not, there. As I noticed in the relationship with our clients also, if the client is not committed, it's not interested about the work, about everything has, the advisor can play alone, must be this connection and complicity,
and
having
commitment,
having the same intention. You can hire an advisor and not being aware of a call or giving a call or being interested. How is going? Where am I in this period of time? How is my situation? You can just leave.
Yeah, they're like,
abandon.
Okay, I'm gonna pay him and he take care, but you can't without human being relationship.
Yeah. You have to be committed, right?
And it doesn't mean that it's not being taken care of. Yeah. At the same time, though, just the way the brain works is that you, the lawyer, running a successful practice, are going to have doubts if you're not at least just getting regular check-ins. And those doubts, that's what wastes your time. That's what creates your stress. That's what builds up angst and ulcers and all of those things. So, you know, if your advisor's not making time for you, maybe consult another one. That said, if you are that lawyer out there that's so successful you don't have time for your advisor, maybe just do a wellness checkup for yourself and say, would 30 minutes every quarter help my wellness be a little better? Just so I really have certainty.
Yes, this is, and I have a question. In your experience with your clients, how much plays important role the personality of the clients? Because some people, they have personality that they are spenders, some they are savers. And especially when you meet a family or people that they are, one is spender, one is saver. I saw a lot of conflicts in the family because of this. So it's so, I want to tell us if you have any story where you notice that some people, they are saver and they are spender.
Oh, for sure. That's why we always, especially if it is a spouse, a couple, we love it if they can both at least be in the session, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. Now, can we work with somebody who is a spender? Yeah, we definitely can. In fact, that should be part of the plan. Understanding, hey, I'm spending a whole lot, so I need my plan to be a little less risky. There's balance in all things. And the lifestyle of the client should play into the way that they plan for the future. Especially on the protection side. Well, hey, if you're spending a lot, if that's what your family's used to, and something happens to you, that's a huge shock. How do we mitigate shocks when things go wrong? Well, we do it through proper planning. So it is very important that people at least have an awareness of which page they're on and that their plan matches that. It doesn't mean that you have to switch. That's another reason why I hate how much should I? Well, I'll give you an example. I have a client who is very well compensated in a contract job where sometimes they go 18 months in between contracts. So they're very well compensated when they're working. And then sometimes they are not working for 3, 9, 14 months. So they told me in our initial meeting that their prior advisor, I asked them the question, how much do you need set aside? And they said, well, my prior advisor told me I needed 3 to 6 months of emergency savings. And I said, well, why are they telling you what you need? In that regard, they need to understand your situation. So they said, yeah, I really feel like I need 2 years of emergency savings because I could be out of work. Now, again, also emergency savings is their cost of living, not their full lifestyle, because they understand if they're not working, they, are focused on getting a job instead of just enjoying all their money. And then they said, yeah, and it really sort of shocked me when I came back, that advisor showed me what to do with all my money. And I said, well, what about the fact that I told you I needed this set aside? Well, yeah, but you really don't. That's wasting money. And it's like, no, you got to understand the needs of the client. Peace of mind is worth how much money? How many years of your life is peace of mind worth? And just making sure that you're protected against that in your case. No one else's case applies to you.
Yeah, so that's why the clients should come to us first and after to you.
Yeah, exactly.
The psychology is very important, and how makes you feeling this, and when you feel like you are free, and what should happen for you to have this feeling, and also the timeline to have all this awareness from different perspectives. Everything plays an important role in. And when you think about finance, people they tend to think, it's boring, it's very strict, and it's very square, but it's not. It's so you have to be such an open mind to see the holistic approach. And is that what I like, and we like in your approach, because you are seeing things and you approach things from the psychological side, from long term, short term, all this perspective are important.
I have a funny story here, because I've worked with a client. He were already millionaire, rich and wealthy, but he felt so miserably and so sad inside because he wanted to be a billionaire. His crowd, it was only around the billionaires, and he felt like he's not enough, he's not rich enough, he's not good enough. And we had to work on the mindset, on the gratitude, on the many things that brought him in a balance, because and in a peace of mind and balance in the system, because it's something is unbalanced in your system. You can have the money, all the money of the world, if you are not happy and you are not aware about already what you have, not what you don't have.
That's so key. And that's why we say for retirement income planning, we have to figure out, what do you need? And once you know what you need, then you can start doing everything else. But it's really crazy, because the opposite of that, and I mean, some of the greatest movies and stories of all time are about consumerism and drive, you know, and the need for more taking over. And I look at, I learned this lesson 15 years ago. I looked at the Fortune or the Forbes richest 500 people. And it's like, wow, you realize that Warren Buffett wakes up every morning and is $40 billion behind Bill Gates. Like, if just being number one is the goal, there's one person in the world that gets to be happy, right? That can't be the goal. And there's also, there's also a lot of studies that have been done on this, and the numbers constantly change, and states versus countries slightly different, but there's a certain threshold of income where people stop getting any happier. And I believe in Southern California, it's around 100,000 for a couple. But studies have shown that, yes, at a certain point, money brings some level of happiness because of the stress relief that comes with security. But it's not that high. It's not 300,000 a year. It's not 3 million a year. You are no happier making 3 million than you are making 300,000. Now, that doesn't mean I'm telling people out there to stop striving or stop being successful either. Sometimes people hear that and think that's the mindset. It's not that, but it is understand exactly what you need, recognize if you have it already, create a plan so that you can know that you'll always have that, and then everything else becomes a game. Everything else becomes fun. Everything else becomes lifestyle that's acceptable, because you know you're not putting your family at risk doing it.
And it's very interesting what you said, because it's this balance between what you need and how you identify the needs, because many people, they relate to the, you know, external world, and they have this need of belonging to a category of people, you know, to this club and this, so they feel happy belonging to that, you know, part of the world, and they feel and relate happiness to this standard, you know. So this is also how you put yourself and where it's your, you know, reference, where you relate, where you want to belong. Because some people, they are happy with less money, they just enjoy being their self and their family, and they find joy in small things. But some people, they are so hard on, you know, they condition happiness to belonging somewhere.
It's a matter of education also, what they saw in the family, how they grow, because I saw people, very rich people, they are living miserably because they are coming from very poor family, and they never feel fulfilled because they have the trauma from the childhood. And you should heal the trauma from the childhood and the belief system in order to enjoy the present life, the freedom.
That's so true. I like that observation. You know, if you have to decide where you're fulfilled, and it is very, very interesting. Again, you don't lose drive once you're fulfilled. That's not what I'm saying. You don't lose. I'm not saying you can't drive a Bugatti, but I'm saying recognize the point of fulfillment and then enjoy everything above that. How much better is that than just, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm spending money. Yeah, I've heard all those other stories, but that's not going to happen to me. And then it does.
Can you tell to our audience a small advice that should be taken right away today?
I mean, lawyers, where they are so busy, they don't have time to dedicate. And to what do you think they should start to think?
Like a mindset, like behavior. financial.
So if you're too busy to do your own bookkeeping, then it should be very easy, because all you have to do is call your bookkeeper that you're outsourcing to and just find out, what is your cost of living?
Mm-hmm.
What is my cost of living?
Mm-hmm.
That will give you a benchmark for what you need in the future. Honestly, again, I can throw a ton of sophisticated tools out there, and if anybody wants a one-on-one consultation, we can go into that.
Yeah, we're gonna put your information, and we're gonna tell where people can find you.
But without pulling out my own secret sauce or the carpet from under me, it's just math at that point.
Mm-hmm.
It's calculators. It is pretty easy. The tough part is knowing, well, what am I aiming for and why? And then once we know that, we can just use calculators to get there and figure out, okay, well, you need to be saving $20,000, $200,000, 20% of your income, whatever it is. That's just math. But figuring out specifically, okay, what is my lifestyle today? What is it costing me? Do I want all of that in the future? And honestly, again, like, I'm very accepting of the larger lifestyle. I don't judge that the way I know many people tend to. I also find that a lot of people do get more contentment. They want to retire in Maine. They want to retire in Arizona by a pool. They want to retire on a golf course. It doesn't always need to be so much more. And so sometimes it's really easy to create a plan and say, hey, did you realize that the reality you wanted is just this far away? And I'm sure that you go through that the same with clients, where, a lot of times they don't even think they need you because they're so strong. And it's like,
lawyers.
Do you realize I can get you, like, you are strong, which means you're only this far away. Let me work with you to get you there, because you're just this far away. That can be really rewarding.
And after they are like, wow, I couldn't believe this. Yeah.
Yes, we love to see these changes, just 2 millimeters, just to change and to shift the whole perspective. Just it requires, this courage, and to elevate, and to go to the next level, to feel freedom, to feel, more joyful, and to enjoy more life, because the purpose is this, at the end of the day, we want to feel joyful and to feel free and to enjoy more life, right? Yeah. It's not, enjoying life is not the numbers, as you said in the beginning. It's not the numbers in account. It's the state of, which is the state I'm feeling free, and I feel the joy within me.
That's why we've created the unique lawyer system, where we first give the opportunity to lawyers to go by themselves and engage themselves like a own responsibility to be ready. And if they want to upgrade to work personal with me or with my sister, they have this opportunity too. But first of all, they have to be engaged and to decide by themselves. Now is my time. Now I want to go to the next level. Now I want to elevate. But I'm sure any person has their own time when they upgrade themselves.
Tell me something, Ivan. Do you have this service where you help people also to make money?
Do you mean like investing?
Not investing. I mean, I'm thinking about mindset, because we have, as Alina said, in our unique lawyer system, we touch this subject, and we have a specific lesson about the relationship with the money and how you treat, because it's a specific relationship, and being wealthy, mindset, and you have to know what means for you being wealthy and how I can make money. Do you have this service also in your packages? Or
so I actually do not, very specifically, because with certain financial licenses, it requires you to be a fiduciary, which means you cannot charge for something that could lead to somebody being your client.
Oh, okay.
So I don't actually have a package like that. However, the seminars that I do, I have an entire series called Financial IQ, which all revolves around education on points of achieving financial freedom. And every single one begins with those 4 points: control over day-to-day, month-to-month finances, protection against setbacks, on track for your goals, financial freedom. So they're all about taking those numbers and graphs and things and contextualizing them in the broader mindset of, wow, I'm going to have what I need. Wow, nothing's going to derail me. Pretty powerful.
It's amazing. It's also online.
It's amazing. It's a big opportunity. The workshop, yeah, I think it's a good opportunity for lawyers to the workshop you have, and if it's online, we can offer to our clients. We can make a joint venture and to offer to lawyers this, because I think it's for everybody, right?
Yeah. No, it is for everybody. But it's so funny. Again, the more successful somebody is, usually the more they get out of it. It's that the person that's 80% of the way there, 90% of the way there, it's oftentimes life-changing for them. While the person who's 20% of the way there, sometimes it's like, okay, we need some steps, and it's fine, but it'll take 3 or 4 years before the mindset really clicks. And that's okay too.
I come from there, Ivan, and I understand, I'm empathic because I come from there. And, when first we start making workshops and courses for lawyers, and they were in the beginning such a resistance, you can tell that they are on their face. It was such a resistance, and I know everything. I don't know.
The ego is taking
but
place.
After the course, I was like having crying. I was so touched by their changes.
Well, and so I encounter this all the time in family law. So family law is the law that goes around divorce and separation, and it's a very unique piece of the law. Because unlike certain, tax law, there needs to be a strong side of empathy.
Mm-hmm.
Lawyers do not have a reputation for that. However, people do, right? People are empathetic. People have empathy. And so what I've learned working in the divorce space is that it is not most lawyers' fault that they behave the way they do. Specifically law school. Law school has a very traditional model where part of law school, it's not just making sure that you're an expert in the law, it is designing a personality. They strive to weed out people that don't fit the personality that they think lawyers need. Mm-hmm. So just naturally coming through the law school system and then starting off at a big firm, your personality is being shaped a certain way. And so it's very interesting when people decide they want to go into family law. Some attorneys make the shift fully on their personality side, but others don't. They're still very caught in just the traditional method. And again, very good people.
Yeah.
But the law system, it's all about, I'm right. I need to be right. I need the confidence of being right. And so it breeds that in people sometimes.
We come from there, and we have created eLAWvation exactly for this reason.
Yeah, exactly. And you know who are our clients? Our clients are the lawyers who are ready, who are ready to elevate themselves and their practice. Yeah. We don't go there to convince somebody, you should do like this because your life is going to be better. You will see, because we have our example. We've been lawyers for 20 years and we change our lives, and we had
different process. Right. When she was ready, I wasn't ready.
Yeah, but we can tell them, come, believe me, I'm going to guarantee you, I can, because each person is different, and each person has their own time. And that's why we say our clients are the clients, the lawyers who are ready.
Yeah. Well, and I love that, because so at the end of the day, what I do as a certified divorce financial analyst, I don't replace the lawyer. I need lawyers to interpret the law, but it's amazing how much of their burden I can take off. Similarly, as a financial advisor to a successful individual, I'm not here to tell you you're wrong or correct you. I'm here to remove some burden, because you are a great expert. You are a great professional. That's why you're in the situation where you're feeling this much stress.
Yeah.
So we're your support team. We're not your boss,
Amazing. Yeah, so we brought many important aspects together, and I think it's important to give the flavor of what means to be successful and having
well-being
balance between wealth and well-being.
And so first is to delegate. Lawyers, they have to take care first to be aware that they have this need to delegate, and subconscious can place to feel this contradiction and this conflict in their life, and feel some blockages and some discomfort. So this is good to delegate and to check out, check in where I am, what is the situation. So
I'll tell you, 30 minutes every quarter, as much as your time is worth, a billable 30 minutes, 30 minutes every quarter and not making a mistake over 3 or 4 years, it's well worth it.
Yeah, it's part of the self-worth. It's
Mhm.
part of loving yourself and investing in yourself, taking care of yourself.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I think we cover the most important aspects of being wealth.
We'll put your information and the people tell to the where they can find you.
Okay, so the email is easy if you can get over my complicated name. It's first initial I, last name Lovegren, Lovegren, at financialguide.com, Guide. So Lovegren at financialguide.com. Or if you search Ivan Lovegren on the internet, because my surname is Russian and my last name is Swedish, and I'm from Omaha, Nebraska, and neither of those nationalities, I'm actually pretty easy to find. There aren't a lot of people with that mix of names. So you can find me on LinkedIn,
And the
Facebook.
name of the company? The name of the company?
Signature Resources is the name of the firm I'm with. Yeah. So.
Okay. Amazing.
Well, thank you so much.
I can't wait to have, to give more resources to lawyers and to do more things together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ivan, for your time, and be safe.
Thank you.
Be healthy, and we talk to you soon.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Bye. Have
Thank
a nice
you.
day. Bye.